Is there somebody in there? Ah! Hello, Lifers. It's Jason Love with Jason Loves Life, and it's Frumpkin Under the Pillow. And just recently, it's sort of a strange thing. I think I brought this up in a long time ago video that how Frumpkin didn't really have an interest. What? He didn't have interest in teddy bears, and just like this last, I say, few weeks, he's been asking for a teddy bear, and so I figured I'd at least talk about it. Do you want to show everyone your teddy? Can I show everyone your teddy? You're scared?
Yes.
He's scared. Should Dada go leave you alone?
Yes.
Are you going to bed?
Yes.
All right. Good night, little man.
Good night.
I love you.
Love you.
I'll see you in the morning. Bye.
Good night.
Frumpkin hates the sheet, so he always ends up
That time.
kind of messing up the bed as soon as he gets in there.
Right. We need to go to bed.
Okay, I'll leave you alone. Good night. All right, let's go to the other room. Yeah, I find it fascinating how much change can happen in like a rapid succession. You know, stuff like his communication comes in slow and takes a little time, and then all of a sudden he'll say a couple words that you're like, whoa. But yeah, behavior-wise, you know, wanting to go to bed with the teddy bear, and I think that's normal with all kids. However, when your child has autism, you're paying more attention because you're trying to see any regression, you're trying to see any major changes. So, because there's a real focus on those small behaviors. Also, those small behaviors become tools, and they're tools for children without autism as well, but more so with autistic children. So, knowing that he wants a teddy bear can be a big deal when it's bedtime. Again, other children similar, not necessarily his age, but you know, some his age who, if they don't get their teddy bear, will get upset. But you know, Frumpkin getting upset and melting down is different than a kid throwing a tantrum or just get upset and then being put to bed. Yeah, it's just a different level. Like with Pumpkin, you know, she'll get up, get upset, or she'll want new things. So for a while, she wanted a bunny, and we didn't, even though like we still want to get her tested for autism, and we're still, I won't say dragging our feet, but we want to make sure that she didn't. I think it makes more sense to do it now, and we will be doing it in the next few months, at least contacting them. We should have done it earlier because it takes a long time to get in, but I think because we have Frumpkin in a program, I don't think it'll take as long. So, and we'll record all that and do all that stuff. But, you know, we didn't notice that like change from like, oh, I want a bunny, right? And I think at first with her, it was a tool to keep us in the room, and not necessarily like she really needed the bunny. It's hard to say because, like I said, with her, I think she's starting to have some speech delays. Maybe it's hard to say because I got to look at it, but you know, she's coming along. But she just turned 3, and you know, like her neighbor friend, she just turned 4, and she's full communication. So it's really a question of like this year will kind of determine if she's behind or not. Just because like 2 so young. Again, we're gonna have her evaluated because a lot of things that we were kind of watching still happened. She didn't have, like Frumpkin had major things like crying when we sang songs. And Pumpkin does do the ear covering thing. So she kind of, I mean, even though she doesn't like freak out, like I can't express enough where we would start singing and he would just scream like we were doing the worst things to him ever, like torturing him when we sang. Or try to read him a story. Or if we read the story and we were reading it wrong, right? So we'd be reading the story and if I didn't read it like a certain way that I kind of, you know, I made it interactive, and then if I didn't follow those interactive rules, he'd get really upset. And like, again, like almost as if he's being tortured and the world was ending if it wasn't done that way. Like I can't express enough like that I don't know what you even call that emotion. It's like an anger, but at the same time mixed with frustration, I guess, maybe at the like extreme frustration. Yeah, and I wish I had done videos then to capture that, but it was just horrifying as a parent to try to figure it out. Because then, too, if you were off, then he wouldn't want to start over, and then, he never really got violence. Then he's starting to learn kicking and stuff like that, but he's small enough that doesn't cause a huge issue, but something to keep an eye on. It's it's hard. So we're gonna get Pumpkin tested again. I don't know when that'll be because we'll probably start making phone calls in the next week or two to set everything up. Right now, it's really about like finding the time and kind of sitting down with Leah, and figuring out 100% that we want to go forward. It took Leah a little time with Frumpkin to get him tested. I wanted to get him tested earlier, and I think the only reason why she didn't, ironically enough, was that we had professionals here, and he had seen his doctor, and like none of them were saying autism, and so eventually I kept talking about it, and she assumed I was paranoid about it, and then eventually she asked, and they both, the doctor and the professionals, the speech therapists that were working with Frumpkin, when we just thought it was a speech delay, both said, yeah, they would recommend it, but they didn't bring it up. So, and it could have been the opposite. I know a lot of parents who watch this channel who have the opposite experience where they bring it up and then the professionals shoot them down. So, we're lucky enough that other people agreed, but Pumpkin doesn't have any professionals right now working with her, so there's no way to like get their feedback. I guess we could ask the ABA therapist, but they're not really. I guess one or two I would say is qualified, in the sense of. Actually, I guess maybe three. Maybe most of them would at least have an opinion. So maybe we'll bring it up with them, and I could see where they might not bring it up just because they're not working with her directly. So. Yeah, this got off the topic of Frumpkin's teddy bear, but important stuff. Talking about early intervention, and I wish we had already started this process, but no time like the present. So, thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. It helps us out a lot. And if you're new, subscribe, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Oh, one more thing. I want to end on the ABA therapist sent me another video of Frumpkin working on emotions. So I'm gonna play that to play us out.
Show me sad. How do you feel?
Sad.
Good job. Show me surprised. How do you feel?
Surprise.
Yeah, show me angry. How do you feel?
Ugly.
Show me happy. How do you feel?
Happy.
Yeah, show me surprised. How do you feel?
Surprise.
Oh, you are surprised. That's right.